What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So we have some good news when it comes to Social Security, so I'm going to share that with you guys. I'm going to show you a statement from Representative Gwen Moore. She's going to be talking about the Social Security and how they plan to make some increases when it comes to Social Security. So that's what we're going to talk about today. But first off, you guys can do me a favor. Please hit the like button. It does help with the YouTube algorithm. Also, please subscribe to the channel. Hit that little bell notification. That way you'll get notified anytime we put out a video. And like always, I just wanted to remind you, if you see my name and you see a picture of me in the comment section, make sure you also see a check mark next to my name. That check mark signifies that it's me. If you do not see that check mark, it's not me. It's someone trying to impersonate me. Okay, so let's go ahead and take a look at the statement from Gwen Moore, Representative Gwen Moore. Here we go. My proposal would help us ensure that Social Security does what it's intended to do: protect all older Americans from spending their retirement living in deep poverty. So that was Representative Moore. Now, we're going to look at her proposal, okay, because she offered this proposal up. And so we're going to take a look at it. It's really three major changes that she wants to do. And then we're going to talk about some of the roadblocks that we might see because the pay-fors, that's what we need to focus on. How is this going to be paid for? And there could be some issues with the pay-fors, and we'll talk about that at the end of this video. So the first thing we need to know, what's the name of this proposal? So Representative Moore has this proposal. What's the name? It's the Social Security Enhancement and Protection Act. So now we don't know if she's going to add this or wants to add this to the second infrastructure bill, that human infrastructure bill, but that is the name of the proposal. So what Representative Moore wants to do, she wants to increase the special minimum benefit to 100% of the poverty level. So that would mean that the government would look at the current poverty level, and no one receiving Social Security would be receiving less than that poverty level, 100% of the poverty level. This is similar to what's been talked about when it comes to SSI, that 100% of the poverty level. And so this is yet another proposal that's out there, and she just announced this yesterday. So this is relatively new. So now we're going to be looking at politicians to see how they feel about this. But we've heard this before. Now, there are a few eligibility requirements. You do need to have paid into the Social Security for at least 30 years, as well as you need to retire at full retirement age. Okay, so 66 or 67, depending on when you were born, that's where you would receive the full benefit. Let's say you work less than 30 years. Let's say you worked only 10 years. You need to work at least 10 years. If you work those 10 years, then you would still qualify, but they would have to make some adjustments. Now, something else that's in this proposal I think is pretty interesting is a child credit. Now, they're giving this child credit for children under the age of 6. So let's say you're in a situation where you're working, but then you have to take off, let's say 5 years, 6 years, because you're watching your child. You can still get credit. You get credit, 1 credit for every year under the age of 6. And then you can get a total of 5 credits for that. So you could still earn the 5 credits towards that 30 years is what we're talking about. So in essence, let's say you work 25 years, but then you watch your child for 5 years, then that would equate to the 30 years. Now, another thing in this proposal that's good is they want to give you a 5% increase after 20 years. The way that this is going to work is on your 16th year, you would qualify. So 16th year, you'd get a 1% increase. 17th year, you get another 1% increase. 18th year, another 1% increase. 19th year, another 1% increase. And then at that 20-year mark, that would be a total of 5%. So that's what they're talking about as well in this proposal. This is much like some of the other proposals that we've seen out there where they want to graduate it. They're not just going to give you that 5% at 20. They're going to give you 1% each year. So that's something to think about. Now, this is in addition to COLA. So let's say you're receiving COLA. Let's say you get COLA, it's a 3% or a 4%. Well, you're going to add that 1% to that for each year. So something else. It's more of an increase, more of a benefit for people on Social Security. So I think that's great. Now, another thing in this proposal, children of deceased or disabled workers would also continue to receive those benefits until they're 26. Now, right now, they only receive it until they're 18. These children will be able to continue to receive those benefits until they're 26, as long as they're in college or a vocational school. Okay, so now let's look at the fine print. Let's look at some of the roadblocks that we could potentially see when it comes to this proposal. So we know President Biden says that he doesn't want to raise taxes on anyone making less than $400,000 a year. So the first pay for when it comes to this proposal is raising the payroll tax from 6.2% to 6.5%. And that will be both for the employee as well as the employer. So there's going to be 6.5% for the employee, 6.5% for the employer. This is one thing that President Biden does not want to do. He doesn't want to raise taxes on all Americans. And so that's going to be a major roadblock there. They're going to have to figure something else out when it comes to that. The next pay for is the $142,800 cap. So right now there's a cap on the payroll tax. So if you make more than that, then you don't have to pay into the payroll tax. But if you make less than that, you're still paying that 6.2%, which is 6.2% now. And so what they want to do is they want to raise that cap. So let's say you're making $150,000, well, you'll be paying into the payroll tax. Well, that will tax Americans making less than $400,000 a year. And so President Biden doesn't want to do that. Now, we've heard other proposals that have come up with keep it at $142,800, but at $400,000, start collecting the payroll tax again. So we've heard stuff like that. But as of right now, those two things, those two pay-fors, it's going to be hard for that to get through the White House. The White House is not going to want to go for that. So they're going to have to figure out another way to pay for it. But this is definitely good news. This is something that I know people on Social Security on fixed income are really looking forward to, some type of an increase. This would help with that. We're looking at a COLA, which we'll be finding out in October. So make sure you subscribe, hit that little bell notification, because I'm going to be coming back every day, keeping you guys up to date. But in October especially, I'll be letting you guys know what that COLA will be looking like for 2022. So we have that on the table. We still don't know much about the $200 raise for Social Security. We've heard some politicians bring it up in the past. It's been months ago, but hopefully they'll start talking about that some more, as well as revamping Social Security. They still need to look at Social Security and revamp it, because we're looking at about 10 years before Social Security, the trust fund, runs out of money, and that would mean a reduction of 20 to 30% in your current benefits on Social Security. So some really important things that are going to be happening in the future. So make sure you guys stay tuned. If you guys have any questions, post them down below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Bye.